desalination plant? Do you have any plans in place for that? And the third question is related to how you will be planning to export the ore from the mine to the port. Would there be a road infrastructure rebuilt or a railway or a pipeline as was mentioned in the previous feasibility?
So the water questions are very important. First one is long term. So short term, we'll look to the aquifers, and again, we want to map all the aquifers, and particularly the deeper aquifers that no one's accessed. But the long term, to be, if you want, our strategy long term is to build a desalination plant at the coast next to the Gwadar port, and we'll pipe the water back to the mine. The same with the local water, as you say. The life expectancy in that region is very low, 50 years or 55 years, because most people die of kidney failure because of the brackish water. And so we see potable water as a human right. So we will be working with the community, the government, to ensure that we invest some of our first dollars will be focused on ensuring access to proper, pure, drinkable water. It's one of the, water, potable water around the world. If you give people fresh, clean water, you take away 50% of all diseases straight away. In Balochistan, you will give people a longer life immediately. So it's an investment we are very committed to. On the concentrate, we'll be concentrating the metals into a concentrate. Initially, we will truck them. Why? Because we are also really focused on the economic benefits. So as we start developing the mine and the businesses, etc., we will truck the initial concentrates. As we get more and more, of course, we will be pumping it to the Gwadar port. And so the long-term solution is to pump the concentrate to the port. And the intention then is when a smelter is built, that's the right place as well.
Thank you. Here, after that, okay, Mehtab, you can take it. Mehtab.
Hello, this is Mehtab. I work for the news. Sir, my question is, when the last time this Riko Diq agreement was done in the same room, I think 10 or 12 years back. So what's the difference this time you have negotiated, that this time it doesn't put into the same controversy? And my second question is, you have also included funding from IFC, which is the lending arm of the World Bank. So, do you have sought some kind of guarantees of the World Bank that this time this project will not be utilized the same manner or the same way? Have you sought any guarantees of the World Bank?
So, look, I can't talk for the World Bank, but the IFC is a very special institution that is designed by the members of the World Bank to support the emerging markets in this world today. And in my early start of my career, I started Randgold. It was a private company and developed it. I used the IFC in parts of Africa where no one else wanted to invest. And the IFC have become a lot more sophisticated over the last 30 years in how it supports development of economies. That's its objective. Remember, the World Bank is focused on, along with the IMF, on countries and country economics. The IFC is focused on how business participates in the development of countries' economies. It's a private focus. So, and of course, as you know, the IFC brings a certain level of insurance, risk insurance, because it represents the global membership, the world membership of the World Bank, of which Pakistan is one. So, it's a collective insurance, and also it comes with a lot more regulation, oversight, etc. So it takes a little bit longer. But ideally, what we want to do is transform that into private lending, and I can tell you, and that's our job. That's our job to manage that, and we've got experience. We're happy we can do that. What is your second question?
What is the difference you have done this time?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. So, as you know, there was a conflict in the past between Antofagasta and Barrick and Pakistan government, and it ended up in arbitration, and everyone was fighting, and there was an award of $6 billion or $5 billion plus interest. And when I took over the leadership of Barrick, and I've worked in emerging markets, as you know, it's difficult for me to get around. How can you do something constructive if you're going to have a fight? Because if we continue on this fight, somebody's going to lose, because somebody's going to have to pay a check, and no one benefits. So we reached out in 2019 to the government of Pakistan and said, isn't there a better way to do this? Because we can create enough value. If we're going to fight each other, the World Bank has made the judgment that Pakistan has to write out a check, arbitration award check. But isn't it better if we all get together and we find a solution where we get our value, and Pakistan gets value, and Balochistan gets value, and a whole lot of businesses in Pakistan benefit from this deal? So it's like a win. There are very few win-wins in the world, but this is one of them. So we said, why don't we do that? And that's why when you look at how we negotiating and settling this is a collective solution. So to find a positive outcome from a negative situation, that's the objective. And we certainly have arrived at that point. Because remember, in the old structure, Pakistan only had 25%. It's now got 50%. It was shared between Antofagasta and ourselves. We found a way that Antofagasta doesn't want to do this. That's our business. We are comfortable to take the risk. We believe in the opportunities that Pakistan offers, and we believe that that's our business. We're a global mining company. We're there to help, in a partnership way, develop the emerging markets economies, because if we do not worry about the rest of the world and you always migrate to the first world or the developed world, we won't have a future in this world. We'll just not have a future. And so part of that is investing in natural resources. So that's the difference. This is a collective joint venture partnership to develop something that will benefit all the stakeholders that are involved in this, and it's a long-term game.
Yeah. First here, then I'm coming to you. And as far as I can see, there are only two questions pending. One from here and one from Bayosa. And after that, I think Mark has answered most of the questions and most of the queries which are in your mind. I'll come to you also, sir. Please.
Sir, it's Khan from General 5. So our question is clear. Just one question that you said that you will be providing, or Barrick is providing more than 7,500 employees. So how they feel their job secure, and how long they can feel their job secure in the Barrick?
So we won't be. Okay, sorry.
Let me take another question.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Right.
can answer.
Good.
I'm Adil Shwarasi from GTV, and as you said that you are investing in gold and copper mining and production. Yeah. For me as a journalist, human health and environment is more important than investment and security. in South Africa, $100 million they pay out to these health miners and with compensation for them. In Sudan, the people there in Sudan, they are fighting with these diseases because of this mining. And you now investing in Pakistan, mining and production is again. What's your plan to overcome this disease and this environmental crisis? And many studies found that mining and production, gold mining and production, this affect the environment and climate change. How you overcome this?
So it's a
Questions about job security?
no, I got that. I'm going to ask the last one first. So we can, the point about us being responsible. It's like me saying to you, do you know the global impact of Karachi on the environment? It's enormous. You get in your car, you drive home, you impact the environment. It's how we manage that impact. I think using the South African asbestosis crisis is looking back to apartheid and the history, deep gold mining, no ventilation, etc. That is not what we do. So it's about responsible mining. Otherwise, we should all go take all those video cameras and give them back, including all your cell phones, your buckle on your belt, your shoes. There's a lot of things that come from mining. Maybe part of this hotel, so we wouldn't have much left. So humankind requires mining. It's a fact. We all would like, and most people who criticize mining haven't been there. It's also, if you look at the big industrial countries of this world today, they come out of mining. And they transition from mining, heavy industry, and then services. That's the way people, and to deny the majority of the humanity the opportunity to develop it's the challenge we have in this modern world is how do we do it responsibly to ensure that future generations have the privilege of living on this planet. And I can assure you, because I work in countries with real poverty, is if we don't uplift the poor people, we will not have a future on this planet. So that's a challenge we will always have. And it's about you and me working responsibility to ensure that we manage our impact. And your point about the South African mining industry, deep level mining, asbestosis, we don't want to go there. We don't go there anymore. We have ventilators, we have a lot of ventilation. We monitor our workers for industrial health things all the time. And we are responsible to ensure we don't get those diseases. And we've just pointed out, part of this mining is going to take away those kidney failure cases in that region, which without mining, they'll never have a chance. On the workers' side, it's not Barrick that creates the work. It's the investment, the whole investment. The government, the SOEs, of course Barrick, the Balochistan government, the Pakistan government. It's about this project. If we develop this project and it works, which it will,